do a deep dive.
We do whatever you want. We can talk about Nolan.
I say we do Nolan. So you can have it out in time for Oppenheimer.
All right, so this is Fanatically Correct. This is.
We can have a Nolan episode part 2.
This is
very easily. Omega.
MSK.
Yo, peace.
And this is Fanatically Correct.
And this is Fanatically Correct. So we're gonna talk about Nolan, something different.
Our link tree.
Our link tree is linktree/fancorrect.
They're easy and fan correct on all our other handles, social media.
Let me be more professional. Hey, our link tree is linktree linktr.ee/fancorrect. That's professional.
Yep.
Because people don't know how to, just go to link tree.
So just this right here. Read this right here, and we're good to go.
Gotta get used to looking at the camera.
Oh shoot, I can do that too. Yeah, do this right here.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna put it up there. I'm not.
We're gonna put it down here.
We're putting everything down here.
Oh, down here.
Why is everything down here?
Because up here, it's gonna chop off our heads.
Oh. No, but if you have
click the link right here.
They gotta get used to looking at the camera. They don't know
Smash
which camera
the like
to look
button.
Like. So that's the main camera. Just look at that one.
Swipe left.
Look at that one.
Yeah, and then while we're talking,
swipe up.
Swipe
down. Swipe up.
We're not doing any of that. All right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about.
Before we get into that,
okay.
First time.
All
three of us.
This is
in studio. No. First of all, it's the first time in a long time that three of us in person. Recording. Yep. Actually, this is the first time we record that it's not a panel. The three of us in person.
Yeah.
That is not a panel.
So this is a lot of firsts. So first time we're recording together in person. That's not a panel.
Yes.
First time recording in a studio. Together.
Why is your mic so low?
You mean low? It's not low. I guess
you can't hear. You can't hear.
I hear me.
I hear you, but you're kind of like far away. I hear him kind of far away.
MSK is our editor.
All right,
who
which one are you?
figure
No, he's down one.
This one?
Down one, yeah. Go ahead. Talk now.
Okay, there we go. Oh, much better.
Sounds much better.
Yeah, but when I start getting really Cuban, that's why he did it, man.
Wait a minute.
I'm calm right now. He knows he's preparing.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's called adjust while we work. Why do you think we put you in front of it?
That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm just going to have to do
You got to adjust as we go. You got 2 jobs.
I'm actually, but go ahead, continue with the first. First time there's not a panel.
First time not a panel that we're together in person. First time we record together in studio. First time we record, and actually even a panel, it's always been a panel topic. So it's like, this is a topic like us, just us, no guests.
No
call-ins.
No fans.
No fans.
No fans. So in the back.
Yeah, but we got a button for it now, so it's like, so I don't have to ask.
That's the wrong button, but okay.
That's the wrong one. I think it was more like the
dingo and the babe. Family Guy. Yeah. But usually we ask the audience to applaud, but now we don't have to do that. We can just laugh track.
Yeah, I think it's this one.
Just have a laugh track. There you go. We got a laugh track too.
Thank you.
There's a laugh track.
Press every single
I want a laugh track for every joke. Like I need it.
No, you'll get this one.
There we go.
I should have done that. I should have left it because I realized that the last time we were here, I kept not letting it go through all the way.
No,
I would just stop it on my own.
You stopped it on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. You next time just
Yeah.
That's it. It stops automatically.
All right. So what are we doing?
So I think the topic that we will do, most likely this episode will come out before we just did SuperCon together.
Yes.
We did a panel, haven't done SuperCon together in a decade.
10 years?
I think it might be a decade.
I'll take all
three of us together?
No,
all three of us together,
I'm gonna
SuperCon?
say 6 years.
SuperCon.
No, I think it was 2016.
2016. I'm going to say about 6 years.
I think 2016 was the last time we did, so 6 years.
No,
That's still a while.
16.
Still a while.
It's
got to be more.
16.
Yeah, because the last time we did Sunrise,
17.
we did Sunrise Con, Comic Con this year, March 2nd, 2024. That'll be the new one coming up.
Yeah.
The first time we did
Don't
Sunrise
date
Con
these things,
together.
these things release in different years.
We did but you're not releasing this in 2024. This better come out. We're doing a Nolan episode. We got to release it by Oppenheimer.
There it is. You just said it.
I'm saying it because he's questioning timing, and we have to have it in time for end of July. So this is going to be way before March 2024.
Yeah.
But the point is that what was my point? No, but that we did Sunrise Con, and that's coming up. Like what I was just saying, on their 6th one, and we did the first one all together in person.
Yeah.
So that was already 5 years ago. That
was Sunrise.
Yeah, Sunrise.
We did one SuperCon.
So I think it was 2014.
With Pete. Yeah, it was a long time
with
ago.
Pete. That's what I'm saying. I think it was 2014 that we did SuperCon together. So it was a while. I think it was before ReedPop.
Or 15.
It was right before ReedPop. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because the amount of
15.
panel passes we got.
Probably 15. Yeah.
And just a quick wrap up. Sunrise Comic Con was awesome. We were out there together yesterday.
SuperCon.
Sorry, SuperCon. We were at SuperCon together, all three of us. We did Multiverses or Madness. Yeah. Odds are this episode's coming out before that because this one's going to need a lot less editing than that one's going to need.
We'll find out.
Well, unless you just drop it raw.
I might just
drop it raw.
Panels,
yeah.
Great audience. Thank you.
We had a very fun participating audience. I think the trivia thing is a stick. I think we'll do that from panels from now on. Yep. Start with the trivia. and then going to the conversation. That was a good time. It was fun, and SuperCon in general was fun.
Very hard questions, by the way.
Yeah, so I had my wife do
you
it
set
for
that
me
up,
because I was doing so much setting up
some
for
of those movies I didn't
SuperCon.
even hear of.
So I just told her what movies. Well, they're all multiverse movies.
Yeah.
So she went by a list of 15.
Great for her because she went into like.
Oh, she had no clue what any of that meant.
No, I know.
That's
I
funny.
know. Which is amazing.
She had a couple that I had to change it because one was like an Arrowverse one. I'm like, yeah, that's just from Green Arrow. That has nothing to do with Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then the other one was from Doctor Strange, the first movie, not Multiverses of Madness.
the better one.
So she swapped those out, and I gave her. Those are the only two questions that I gave, which is the one that the Gargantua,
Right.
that question I gave her in search, and then the one of who did not play Kal-El.
Yeah.
That was my question also because I figured right away, you know what? There's a bunch of Superman and probably people who just spoiler alert have seen The Flash know that Christopher Reeve by now it's been spoiled.
Yeah.
There's a Christopher Reeve moment.
Rest in peace.
But he wasn't. But he was in The Flash, not Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Was that a recipe for Christopher Reeve or the movie?
Of course.
Yeah, of course,
Rest in
of
peace
course.
For Christopher Reeve.
I don't know. The
Christopher
movie
Reeve.
was really bad.
I mean, the movie too.
Okay.
The movie too.
But oh god, but yeah. So I threw that in there because I figured that was be fresh on people's mind. A lot of people would think that it wasn't him. That no, he was just in The Flash. So
Yeah.
you probably like no, he was the only one not in Crisis. Tom Welling was in Crisis. The new
But he
Superman
was
in
Man
it
of
as
Steel.
well. He was. No,
Oh,
well,
but
he was
no,
Man
he
of
was
Steel.
in Smallville. He did
No,
a
he was-
Smallville thing.
Oh yeah, he
before he
did.
passed away.
That's right. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Christopher Reeve was in Man of Steel.
No, he was
Yeah.
not. Who was he in Man of Steel?
Christopher Reeve was in Man of Steel.
In Spirit.
No.
They try to put his face when he
Oh,
was
you're
going
right.
up
He
into
was.
the
He was a
light.
man. They
What?
CGI'd
They
when.
CGI his face
Yeah,
into the
that
light.
was pretty cool. Actually, that it
In
was
Man of
pretty cool.
Steel?
In Man of Steel,
When
he's
Henry
going-
Cavill was flying,
I did not know
flying
this.
into the,
the
light,
wind. Yeah.
they CGI a little bit of Christopher
Yeah.
Reeve's face into it.
Why?
Why
As-
not?
Yeah, just as
It was like a little respect.
Oh, that's
for
like a little
Superman.
Yeah.
passing of the torch.
And you know what? I like that better than what
like
they
a
did.
metaphoric passing of the
It
torch.
was.
Yeah.
Go back, and
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see his face a little bit in there.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I actually remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah,
right?
I remember that. It's good.
See, you know what might have been cool if they would have just done something like that. If they were going to do that in The Flash, anyways, it just have a flying moment. Showing Superman flying instead of just focusing in on the one that they did. Just kind of just switch between them, like flying.
Speaking of Man of Steel,
Yeah.
Because they had to CGI Tom Welling anyway. So.
speaking of Man of Steel,
Tom, yeah.
was
Yeah.
The Flash and
What, The Witcher?
what they.
Are we gonna talk about Nolan or what are we talking about?
No. But in the Flash,
We're gonna do Nolan.
in
We're
the-
just, like,
in the Flash.
Listen, the Flash.
Superman.
I'm telling you right now, the Flash was not a terrible.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
The Nick Cage.
So, spoiler alert.
By now, either they saw The Flash or they don't care about spoilers
Yeah,
because
or
they're
they just don't
not
care
going to
about the
watch
Flash.
it. Yeah.
Flash wasn't a bad movie. I enjoyed
No,
it.
it
I enjoyed
but
it too.
I didn't enjoy the cameos, and if you take out
I
the
did.
cameos and you
I
take
like the
out the
cameos.
first 20 minutes of that movie would have been a
I'll
lot
tell you
better.
right now, and any of our previous fans, and if you go back and listen to our previous episodes and kind of do it in order, you're going to know I am not the biggest Michael Keaton Batman fan.
He was awesome.
Of my
He was
co-host,
awesome.
but I wasn't this.
Yeah.
Old man Batman, Michael Keaton is awesome.
He was great.
Is fantastic.
He was great.
I think taking Tim Burton out of the equation is what made it better. I think he did a better job.
I think when those movies came out, you might have.
No, I
been
just
aging out
I,
of, like,
li-
demo.
I liked
He
it.
was- he
No,
was
I
aged
liked it.
out.
He was
No,
aged
I
out.
liked it
At
when
least
it,
the second one.
It was like the Power
those were
Rangers for him.
that was the
Yeah.
dislike was on the rewatches. As a kid, when I saw them, loved them.
Okay.
Going back to watching, because
So
just
here's
like you
what I
guys did to me with Cyborg. I went back and watched. I'm like, you know what? I
Wow.
actually don't like this. This is not. But in
Versus-
fairness,
You're comparing
I don't
Cyborg
know how
to
you
No,
watched
but-
Cyborg
but it's
and
all-
liked it.
it's also Dark Knight, the Dark Knight series, the Nolan series, which we're gonna get into Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan, so we can start with the Dark Knight series, is so damn good that rewatching now is like, you know what, this is what I always wanted from Batman.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I'll give to Tim Burton is that probably beyond perfection would have been Tim Burton's grasp for like what Batman the Animated Series did, which is that gothic,
Yeah. He had a
classic
style.
gothic
Yeah.
style of Gotham with Nolan's version and story and everything else.
Yeah.
That might be like beyond perfection because Nolan brought it to real world. You know, he made a very real world Gotham, a very real world in general, which is why I think that wouldn't have been able to carry over into the Man of Steel universe, since it would have if they
would've.
would have stick to Nolan's concept.
Nolan's concept that
But
way. Yeah.
going into the Justice League that Zack Snyder was planning, that real world would have been too real.
Where they ended up.
Yeah.
What Nolan did as passing the torch and opening the gates for that type of world, if they would have grounded it a little bit, I think it would have worked.
Yeah.
Because we got introduced to Man of Steel through Nolan.
Yeah. I agree.
And Man of Steel was the most
Yeah,
grounded
Not
one.
only were we introduced to Batman, but we were introduced to Man of Steel. Don't get it twisted. That's not Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is
It's
on
not.
the directing.
Well, he
but
directed it,
Zack's-
but you could
behind
tell.
the scenes,
Yeah, you could tell Nolan did a lot
it's
for
a
it.
Nolan.
Here's the
look.
thing with the Zack Snyder, which we've talked about before when we did the Snyder cut, Justice League and all that, is that his best films is when he has a good producer that's not his wife, who's not someone who's coddling his vision, but that's a good producer that reels him in. You look at Dawn of the Dead, you look at all the good
ones.
Snyder stuff,
All the good ones.
he's not producing, and it's not his wife producing.
Right.
When him or his wife are producing, he goes off the rails, and you get Sucker Punch, and you get his. But that's what it is.
So we're doing
He's great
Snyder?
at doing. No, we're doing Nolan, but that's my point.
Oh, okay.
Snyder's great at doing scenes.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
He's a good director.
He is
I'm
a
gonna give him-
great.
He's a good director.
He is
He is.
under control.
Yeah.
Where Nolan is the full package.
Yeah.
Great writer, great producer, great director.
Well, Nolan's just a film guy.
He is. He's in general. He's a renaissance man of filmmaking.
And filming,
You know, of filmmaking. He does all the jobs. He works on the cameras. He works on the editing. He works on and just everything because he has great vision. He knows what his vision is, and he knows how to put the right people in the right places. That's why Man of Steel is so damn good.
A great writer
Yes. Yeah.
that he can.
Well, he puts himself around great writers too.
Yeah, that's
David
what I'm saying. He surrounds himself with good. And look, Man of Steel, and to give kudos to Zack Snyder, he had an idea of how he wanted to do things for that with the studio and all that, and they agreed that Zack Snyder was the guy for him to work with to make that happen. So it's not that Zack Snyder's terrible. He's just
No.
He's just
I'm not here to.
he's just someone that requires same thing to be surrounded by people that
Of course,
help
I think
him.
We all in any craft,
Of course.
should be surrounding ourselves with.
Of course.
Not just people that are gonna be like, yeah, that's good. We should do that. And run away with it. I need somebody that's gonna be like, hey, maybe we should try this way.
Just to give you more ideas too.
Yeah, obviously that's
No, and
that's
and
amazing.
Nolan's fortunate because I know he does a lot of the script writing stuff like that with his brother and his wife
Jonathan
as well.
Nolan and Lisa
and I think so.
Joy.
He's
So,
also
the good
surrounded.
brother.
Yeah.
Whoa, we're not gonna
so,
talk.
He's
Listen.
surrounded. Edit that out.
Christopher Nolan has two brothers. All right. Jonathan Nolan, writer, great guy. His other brother, we're not going to talk about.
Yeah,
you could just
we'll
Google that.
mention that.
You Google it on your own.
yourself.
Yeah, Google
Just
that.
click right here for the direct link. That's why I did it up here because we're not going to put it. We're not going to put it. So now you know
It's not
a
gonna
code
be-
and we say here, there's nothing to click on.
Or maybe we'll. I don't know.
So for the audio audience,
That's
there's no link to click on.
Yeah.
Don't go racing to YouTube now to try to get
That's
that link.
funny.
All right, so we're going to start with film one with Christopher Nolan. We're just going to jump
Do you
around.
want to do an order? Do you want to do a top three?
Ooh, an order is
each?
kinda hard.
And then we do
top three?
mentioned.
All right, we could do a top three.
I'm gonna look at an outline.
Today's top three because that's going to
Today's.
change outside.
Today's. Here's the
Well,
thing.
we're not gonna survive the next one. So at this
That's
point,
it. After Oppenheimer, it's done.
I'm trying to see what you guys could go on, but I'm trying to see if I have an outline for Nolan. But like with MSK next to us, number one, we're all big Nolan fans.
Yeah.
But like, I don't need an outline.
okay, but this is the problem with the Nolan top three. Are we doing just directing and writing him, or we doing
Director.
him just directing?
Let's just do director, and if he
Director.
happens to be a writer on it,
Yeah, and
whatever.
producer
But-
on it. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
I
think
mean,
he produces all of
most
it.
of. I think he
Yeah.
produces all of them.
Yeah, look, when we did the Tarantino dive, we did just director.
Yeah.
We did some
And
mentions.
that was 2 episodes
of
so
writing.
we're condensing this. But
Well, because we'll do a Nolan part 2 for sure. After
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
eventually.
No more like you said, we're gonna change. So this is the pre-Oppenheimer.
pre-Oppenheimer.
We'll do a post-Oppenheimer, and because like today, first time in the studio, so we had to figure things out and test things out. So next time, whether it's in studio, on Skype, whatever, we'll have more time that we could take it in really detail. We can go in order, not do a top 3. Like you said, most likely our top 3 might change depending on how good
definitely will
Oppenheimer
change.
is.
It definitely-
He tends to get better and better as he goes, and we could do that. So yeah, we'll do a pre-Oppenheimer, we'll do a post-Oppenheimer, and it'll end up probably being with the second part much longer than a
Yeah.
team
I'm
episode.
gonna tell you why I think it's gonna change. It's the rumor that I heard about the next movie.
the rumor that the theater is gonna.
That one is one of them. Which
Well, this can literally
it's getting
be
a
our
sequel.
final episode in that case.
Final one.
Yeah.
I'll final everything.
This could possibly, depending on when you're listening, to be the last podcast episode you
Probably.
ever listened
I
to
mean-
of anything.
Yeah, you just the whole world might experience this at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
don't be listening to this right now on Friday, July 29th.
Yeah.
At Thursday the 28th.
That's exactly when
at
I'm gonna
exactly
hear
4
it,
p.m.
But then the other one is, which is interesting, and I don't know if anybody heard it, but that it's a horror film.
Yeah, I did hear about that. It's
That I haven't
filmed.
heard yet.
It's filmed like if it was a horror film.
It's a
That's
horror film.
Like people left.
Like, is it gonna
watching
be
it?
categorized as a horror film?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a drama, but the way they made it seem, the reviews, it's
a
as
horror.
if it's a horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then it's gonna black and white.
That's
Maybe those are the horror
interesting.
ones.
That's very interesting. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. That's getting me even more, hype for this movie.
All right, so we're doing top three each
Top three.
today. We
Top
could do
three.
that.
I do top 3.
rough.
So upcoming. Instead
All
of
right.
Oppenheimer's upcoming, it comes out.
That's
this
rough.
month.
Go ahead. This is gonna be rough. I'm not prepared for this. All right, so
I don't think any of us were.
do you want
Just
to? Okay, we could start with all the movies. I know them by
Okay,
heart.
I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna run down the list. We'll go with beginning. Okay,
Start with the following.
let's do a quick trivia.
Yes, do start with the follow.
So what happened
the
to-
other ones were
Yeah,
So
those
what
are
happened
student
to
films.
Tarantula?
No,
Short.
don't start with those.
No,
Those
no,
are
no,
short.
no.
Those are good. Dodo Bug is pretty good.
Doodle-bugs
actually.
is short.
Yeah.
So first one's we're testing.
So let's do the
So
following.
MSK is gonna show some impression. Now we have video proof to
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
We
so.
could do. We could do.
Yeah.
I
So
could do this. All
so
right.
we have the following. What was the next
and
one
then
we did after that?
Memento.
Memento.
Okay.
Okay. After that, we have the one with Pacino. What's it
There you
called?
go.
There you go, Insomnia.
He's good.
Insomnia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we have
like he's
Batman
looking at my-
Begins.
Yes.
I
Okay.
feel like he's watching this. Here
We
over here.
have Prestige.
Yeah.
Which I don't know where yet, but that's gonna be in my top 3. But go ahead.
All
Let's
right.
continue.
Prestige.
After the Prestige.
The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Inception.
Okay.
And then after Inception, we have see. Inception. Oh, were we counting Man of Steel as a producer? Or he didn't direct it.
No,
but-
he didn't direct
He
it.
didn't.
Okay, so after Inception, we have the Dark Knight Rises.
Bro, I feel like okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
and then after that, we have. See, these are the two that is tricky. Which one did we see first?
Actually, 3 years apart. So
Yeah.
they weren't that close together.
Yeah. Let's do Interstellar.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Dunkirk,
Yes.
and then Tenet.
Jesus,
there you go.
where's that button?
So, we did it. We did it. That took longer than I thought it would, but yeah, we said it.
So we're tagging Christopher Nolan in this, so you can be impressed.
Yeah,
by,
we're tagging it, and
The
then yeah.
Phantom I would
Yeah.
not have gotten that order
That is
correct.
really good, man.
I would not have gotten that order correct.
So the years, 1990. No.
you know, the run times, the box
run times.
The
office.
fact that he's saying
box
1990,
office.
I feel like he knows his years.
His
Yeah,
favorite
I
flavor of
probably
ice.
do. I
His
probably
favorite
do.
flavor of ice cream. His address.
Yeah. I
Is
slipped
it-
on the
Nolan's gonna hear
Insomnia
this
one.
episode and get a restraining order on MSK immediately.
You didn't flip on the Insomnia. You know
I just
who it was
I
in
knew
it.
what to do. Yeah. Robin Williams also. That movie's
I think I'm wrong about my top 3 when I said
Yeah,
Prestige
you
was
can
in
look
it.
at this-
Think about
this
it.
thing.
Think
I
it's hard.
I think I'm going to choose top 3
Yeah.
right now.
I
That's
have
what I'm
3
gonna do.
on top of my head
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
But
I'm
let's see what you guys
I'm
say.
sticking with it. My third.
Third. Let's do
Okay.
you third.
My third is Prestige.
Your
Prestige.
third is
And
Prestige.
depending, there's definitely days out of the year where it'll be my number 1.
The Prestige is great.
I'm
man.
telling it just
It's a great movie.
okay. Here's the thing. I'm someone who I'm a person that unfortunately is really good at guessing twist endings and surprise endings, and I had no clue in that film. Especially because what was beautiful, it's so many prestiges in the Prestige.
Right.
That the whole time the Prestige is that you have a double twist, and I'm almost figuring out the other twist, which is like this guy's cloning himself.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's killing himself. The original dies
Yeah.
every time, and then like you're so focused on that reveal that Bale's character, spoiler alert, listen to a Nolan episode if you haven't watched
Yeah.
Nolan movies,
No, for
It's
real.
what he originally thought it was.
is a twin.
It's a twin, which is
twin.
what Hugh Jackman thought from the beginning.
Yeah.
It has to be a double.
Crazy.
It has to be a
because
double.
how do you do it? And then he thought that's what he was doing through science.
Yeah.
Because the last thing he could even think of is how much of 2 people could commit to that.
Yeah.
To commit to an entire life.
Yeah.
Of 2 people sharing one life to the point that their spouses didn't know.
Yeah.
To their love interest didn't know.
That's crazy.
That
It's
no
a
one
deep,
could know
crazy movie.
that they were the same person. And like there's not many movies that blow my mind as well as that one did. And just the performances from both Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman in that film, insane. Michael Caine, of course,
Yeah.
everything he's in with.
So which one was it at the end? Which Christian Bale character? Was it the father or the who do you think it was?
What, that ended up being in prison?
Yeah.
That no, it was by guaranteed the father. It was
Guaranteed?
Yeah. Yeah, he said he cared so much about the guy. But they both did love
That's
him.
that's what I'm saying.
He did. They both loved him as a father, the kid.
And
but,
who was the one that made the mistake with?
But I feel that because who got shot? Yeah, you know what? Now we're gonna rewatch it like 8 times.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad it's in my top 3. I'm really glad it's my top 3 because it's one of those films that you get to watch and discover or change your opinion,
might change
your theories on it. So yeah, I'm definitely, my third is definitely Prestige. It's so damn. Am I the only one that's gonna have Prestige in his top 3?
I think so.
Oh wow! So I'm glad. I'm glad I'm there.
I think so.
But yeah, because it's hard because there's times where like
I'm looking at this list and I'm telling you right now, I am forcing myself to pick.
All right, so hold on. Are we doing 3-3-2? Like,
3-3-3, 2-2-2.
So who's going next? You want to go next?
I'll go next.
Right,
I'll go next because I feel like you're
the
biggest
man.
Nolan.
This is hard.
The Nolan fan. So
you're giving him time.
You're gonna have the hardest time.
I want to watch the movies right now and just pick again.
So I'm choosing. I'm pushing my foot down. I'm saying that I'm choosing this. I don't care what happens later on. I'll probably change it again, but it's gonna be Inception.
It's Inception number 3. Okay,
that's not my number 3.
All right,
that's a good one.
This is fun. This is great.
I loved everything about Inception. I like the concept. I enjoy all the actors in it. I enjoy the action, but then the fantasy of it, which is putting all that together. Nolan films for me are so like, it depends on the mood that I'm into.
Exactly.
Which is why
this is hard.
Because I could ground myself into something Dunkirk because I love war movies and I love that movie and I've seen it I don't know how many times already. I've seen that movie a lot. But I'm putting my foot down. I think I enjoy Inception so much that I'm putting it on my top 3 because it's a great movie. Again, that whole Inception thing. And then it's one of those movies that, again, it's a Nolan film. So it leaves you into, you tell me what you think the ending is. Which I love that. I love that.
What's the ending? What do you think the ending is?
I personally think the ending is he actually was able to get out of there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right.
I'm with the optimism, too, in that. I agree. I feel that it's a wobble. I really feel that was a wobble at the end.
It was
didn't
so
he
subtle.
recently?
It was very
didn't he
subtle.
recently?
So subtle. No, he's not gonna ever say what it was.
Clarify it.
No, he's never.
Yeah,
gonna
I
say
feel.
He talked about it. They read something where he was talking about it, but he still didn't tell
He's
you.
never
what
gonna
it
tell
was.
you because he wants this. He wants us to talk about
I
it.
enjoy that. I enjoy. Dude, watching that in IMAX, I was blown away. I think was it either you or one of you guys. I think we all saw it too. I don't know what it was, but I definitely enjoyed it.
No, I definitely saw that on my own because I was crying.
Yeah,
so
you cried?
Oh, I cried.
Good job.
Inception. No, I saw that just me and my wife.
Yeah.
And,
I know I saw it in IMAX.
I saw it in IMAX also. I saw it at the Sawgrass Mall. We had a lot less IMAX options.
Well, back then
I
we
saw
didn't
it the second time in the Discovery, which
and that was
we saw Dunkirk.
Yeah, and by
we
then
also saw it in the one
Sunset Place
mall,
has one also
in the mall.
Aventura.
The one that they used to serve you food.
Yeah,
Cinebistro.
Yes. I might have seen it with you.
Wait a minute. No, Man of Steel I saw with you.
The first time I saw Inception was at Cinebistro.
You saw it together.
12 o'clock on Thursday.
I think we
did.
did.
That's how we did Man of Steel on a Thursday midnight. Also.
Cinebistro.
And that was before we had assigned
I saw that when I saw it. I remember it particularly because of Sawgrass.
Maybe eating and watching the movie also.
I saw it the second time at the Discovery Zone because I remembered that was the first and last time I watched an IMAX at Sawgrass because I don't know if they've fixed it up or anything new, but it was such a terrible IMAX deal. Like at least it was an IMAX screen. It was big and all that, but it just felt like I feel like this was not the full IMAX experience, and it wasn't. I went over to and saw the Discovery Zone, the big one. We saw Dunkirk, and it was much better.
I'm so mad right now.
Yeah, it was much better
mad right now. Nolan.
Because that's what you want to see.
I think you need to invest in more 70mm IMAX
all around the world. Yeah,
because like
I get to see Oppenheimer.
Like
I don't know.
I think there's like
maybe
10
because
in the nation.
the IMAX I am going to isn't that I'll live.
Yeah.
maybe
it's because it's
maybe
so
those
big.
maybe those are the ones you're going to.
You're so
not
big,
gonna-
you're able to survive this one.
That's probably what it is.
But no, definitely Inception.
Inception number 3. All right. Man, this is rough. You guys don't understand how rough this is, right?
No, I know it.
Ooh, okay, number 3.
You're the guy that's gonna go very old school.
This is well. The thing is, 3 is even harder because I'm telling you right now, you'd be surprised what movie I've watched the most from Nolan.
I might not be.
I know which one I've watched the most.
But it's not necessarily my favorite, but it's the one I watched the most.
I know, but I know. I think I know which one is the one you watch the most.
Okay,
Like,
well.
And I think that one might be one of our first.
Ooh, this is hard, man. This is really... Okay, so, number 3, as
do
of
you have a
today...
decision? Okay, you're saying... So is your number 3 the one you've watched the most?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no.
I want to guess what that is.
Yeah, we could guess what that is.
Okay.
It's not going to be
How
on the
is
list.
that not the number 3?
It's not going to be on the list.
Oh, because it's not going to be on the list.
But it's the one I watched the
one
most
he's
because I
watched
still
the
like
most.
it.
Okay.
But this is going to be rough.
Okay.
This is very rough.
Okay, hold on.
All right.
Go with your number 3, and then
number
I want to
3,
see
as
if we
of
both
today,
are thinking the same thing as the one you watched
As
the
of
most.
today, I'm going to go with Interstellar. That's number 3. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect soundtrack. Perfect story with the daughter and him being the ghost from the get-go. I mean, I thought it
full
was
circle.
My
Yeah,
wife
full
cannot
circle.
listen to this episode because she has not seen Interstellar.
Oh,
My wife had to...
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
No, she's not gonna listen, which is better because I'm gonna show her.
Yeah.
That's the next Nolan film that I have to show her.
You have to show her
Yes.
Interstellar. Actually, it is very... I mean, it's very deep. Man.
Yeah,
It's very
the,
deep.
The,
It's just-
the thing and why Interstellar is not going to be my top 3 is the pacing. I love it.
Yeah.
But also to be a little picky on what I love and how I'm affected. Litmus test is any movie like that. My wife usually falls asleep during the theater,
Yeah.
and she did. She loved it though when we saw it home because we were to pace it. It was
Yeah.
like watch an hour, go make a snack, and do something, whatever, and then sit down and watch again, and then sit down and watch again. It is the pacing because it's so much story, it's so deep, it's so cerebral, intellectual, and thoughtful and clever.
very clever.
Film.
And
Everything about it. But that's the only thing. It's got a pacing that is not a big stray from what he does. It's
Right.
very similar to all his pacing. Just that particular film, because of the subject matter, it does feel like a lot of waiting because it is
Right.
a lot of waiting. You know what I mean? Like they are
Yeah.
waiting. They're on a ship waiting for the ship to get to its destination. They're on waiting. And then what's amazing
And it's a
about
lot
the
of
waiting,
setup to
It is.
finding out what exactly the ghost
No,
is.
and you have to do so much, and that's what makes the film so good. Is like so much character development.
Yeah.
And
with
and
even with the son, which is barely in the movie.
Yes.
Even that has a
they
little
had
bit
to
of a
take the
character
time to
development.
do it, and they
Yeah.
had to take the time to do it with each version of them, the child version of them
Yeah.
and the adult version of them, so you can feel that gradual shift because it's a big jump.
I'm going back
You
to
know,
watch that movie.
yeah, they
Well,
don't
that
give you
movie's perfect.
they don't
I
give
mean,
you
I
like
think
kid,
tomorrow I'm watching that
teenager,
movie
you know.
with her.
Yeah, I think it's very emotional just on both sides. Seeing the dad find, he. Can I
No,
spoil
no,
this?
no,
for
yes,
you?
spoiler
Can I-
alert.
No, no, there's no more
is-
spoiler
this is
alert.
no
So
spoiler alert.
him coming back.
Look, one last time. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
Ooh,
That's
look
it.
at that.
All
You're gonna
Nolan
do that
films.
on
So maybe I'm thinking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
But,
I like it. That's why I said it.
So, him coming back, seeing his aged daughter, and then she seeing the younger version of her dad, it's just very emotional. And then
And freaking Matt
that
Damon.
was my next. Matt Damon.
What was the most recent one?
It's that
He just did one recently again. Another
obviously,
freaking
that was
Matt
not
Damon.
His first
No, it was not his first.
effing Matt
Saving
Damon.
Private Ryan.
Right. But
No.
I'm
No,
saying,
no, yeah, Saving Private Ryan.
Private
His
Ryan,
first
and then which
freaking
one's
Matt Damon.
what I'm saying is this is
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty
this
doesn't
is the
know.
one
Yeah.
that he starts.
Fiona and
I think
me.
after this movie, he
kept
just
going. It was a
kept
streak.
going
Deadpool?
over and over
Deadpool
and
2?
over.
Deadpool 2. And the thing is, like, the majority, Deadpool 2 is not so bad, but majority of the time, his freaking Matt Damon moments are, he's a son of a bitch.
What was the one that came out on HBO Max?
There's one recently.
The one on
at
HBO Max that came out.
There was one recently. I know exactly.
I'm trying to remember what it was. We
One
were talking about
recently.
what was the recent
When
freaking Matt Damon.
When I literally said that, I feel
Yeah.
like he's gonna come on.
Well,
a
he's gonna
TV
be an
show.
Oppenheimer, but it's not a freaking Matt Damon
On
because
a
they already
TV
showed
show.
him. I think so. Yeah, he is an Oppenheimer, but he's a
Yeah.
main character. We already know that
Yes.
coming out the gate. But there was another one recently. I can't remember
Yes.
now. Where I went, "Are you kidding me?
Another
Like,
Matt
it's like
Damon,
this
yeah.
is the freaking."
Oh,
Matt
it was
Damon.
Thor. He came up
Yeah,
as one of the
twice
actors.
in Thor.
Yeah, twice in
he
Thor.
did in Thor 2
Yeah.
and no Thor 3.
Yeah.
3?
2 and 3.
No, 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3
One
and
of those
4,
movies don't
3
count.
and 4.
Yeah,
No, no, it's
one
3
of those
and
movies
4.
don't count.
3 and 4.
Yeah, Interstellar number 3.
Yeah, but yeah,
it's great.
he's-
Soundtrack, by the way, is
Amazing.
Amazing. One of the best soundtracks. Second best soundtrack from all his movies.
Matthew McConaughey, incredible performance. I mean, very not the biggest part for Casey Affleck, right?
Casey
Was his son.
Affleck, yeah.
Great
And
performance
the younger version of
yes.
Casey Affleck was this kid in Dune. What's his name?
Chalamet?
Chalamet, yeah. Timothy Chalamet.
Oh. I didn't. That's right.
Yeah,
I
he was
didn't
only in set
realize
for
that.
like 2 days, but yeah.
Yeah, nice. But it's just incredible film. Incredible film.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
story. Great concept. Just the idea of all of it is very physics, theology, strong. You know, it just it
The
really
way they
is.
did the black hole,
Everything.
it's very
man.
accurate.
And the
They found
con-
out it's
The
very
concept
accurate.
of what that is.
Yeah.
It's
and
so
then the
deep.
concept of the closer to it,
Yes,
how time runs
yes.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
just all of that, just amazing.
Yeah, when they're in the water planet, and it's like it's very
Oh,
like
that's-
hectic.
yeah,
That's
the every
amazing.
24
He's
hour
getting nervous
cycle.
because he's losing time,
Yeah.
and
Dude,
he knows
that's
his daughter's
amazing.
aging. So
It's amazing.
Beautiful film.
yeah, it's number
Beautiful
3 for
film.
today because tomorrow's probably gonna be.
Man.
It's crazy.
So not the same top 3. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So your top 3.
Top 2 is gonna.
Oh, so we're going this way. Let's do this way. So you want me
Wait.
to go this?
Yeah, because
No,
I
I
did
already gave
3,
you my
3.
top
2.
three.
So you gotta go.
That's
2.
right.
You gotta go 2.
Yeah, it's okay. So
Did you forget I gave you
my
my part 3?
Yeah.
Jesus. Inception.
Inception. That's why, because I was like, oh, that's right. It was like, wow, sorry, I gotta take a quick
It's not fair.
second.
You both are looking at
Because this is hard for
like what?
this not.
It's very hard.
No,
It's very hard.
I like I said at the beginning, I'm choosing this right now. This is what it is. Like
Yeah.
I already got the top 3 in my head. I'm not switching from this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna switch from this. This
'Cause
is
I
what
want-
I'm giving you right now. And
I know what I
am not
want.
wrong.
I know what I want my number 1 to be,
But it's not gonna be that.
but it might not be that.
I know what I got.
Because
my
it might have
number
to be
already
my
got
number 2.
1. My number 1 is yeah.
Oh
Go ahead.
man.
my number 1.
You know,
is,
in fact, my
yeah.
number 1 is probably the one that I like for sure. It's my number 1. Everything else is kind of hard to pick. We should have done
The
top
one
10.
I have to watch
should've.
over and over. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. My
Top 10 would have been
my number
easier.
2. I know. Oh yeah, it's all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just each individual
All right,
order.
Top
yeah,
20. Let's do top 20.
Top 20.
Just go down the list.
doesn't even have one yet.
My
That's
number
amazing.
2 is Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight, Dark Knight.
Oh,
Not Dark,
wow.
that's the one that was on here.
That would
Dark
have been a
Knight.
shocker.
That would have been
shocking.
yeah, that would have been dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and not that dumb because it's bad or but because it's and no matter what, but I gotta say it because you could say that it's because of Heath Ledger, but Heath Ledger is because of Christopher Nolan. Like who else really saw that from him?
Yeah.
And who else saw that version of the Joker? There is no other way. Like honestly, when there was rumors about William Dafoe and things like that,
Which would have been great.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, like that's because Mark Hamill's all I really had for like what a perfect Joker was, you know. And I'm like, so they got to put that on screen. Like if they're gonna do Joker live action, they got to put that on screen. What
Right.
he is, the purple suit with the, you know, and they did, but just not that animated way. And then sadly, the only other exposure I had to Joker, Jack Nicholson,
Right.
which is the purple and you know, but that the loud way, not just like kind of like off, like not the scary clown, the funny crazy clown. He still was that overly animated, funny character, but Mark Hamill in the animated series did it in a way where there was still something disturbing about it.
Yeah.
But it was very kid
course.
safe because he was a Joker. But there
Yeah.
was like that guy in real life would
It
be
went
kinda
over their head,
creepy.
yeah.
And Nolan again basing in reality, and I think that's where Dark Knight Rises kind of takes a step. Like Dark Knight Rises of the 3 is the one that kind of gets away from reality the
Yeah.
most.
Well, it gets more comic book.
Yeah, it gets exactly. It gets more comic booky and there's more to it. But even then, he was smart about how he did the Rise, you know, the Lazarus Pit and all that to still make it metaphoric and not directly
actual Lazarus-
an
yeah,
actual Lazarus
exactly.
Pit and all that. But in Dark Knight, the fact that he had a vision for Joker, he had a vision with the person that would be able to pull that off, and then he told us a story in a way that there's no way I really saw that would be the story right after Batman Begins.
Right.
Of already jumping into a seasoned Batman and going into a situation with Two-Face. Didn't even know we were going to have a Two-Face.
Yeah.
And that movie going into it, like, oh, Harvey Dent, okay, they're setting up for the next to be a Two-Face, but that they worked it in that a very small Two-Face situation at the end would
Two-Face.
work perfectly.
Yeah.
And that the Joker facilitated that. So even then, just completely deviating, you know, in some of the origins of these characters, and then that in the writing, you know, whoever him and you know who he worked with in the script, of the story of he has no story, and telling that because in the comic
Yeah.
books it was never exposed that he didn't really have an origin story.
Well, he did have an origin, but it was different versions that he wanted to tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, to make it say that you don't know what it is.
Right.
But that any of these, and honestly, I feel that that's great inspiration and what makes sense of what they did with Joaquin Phoenix
Right.
and the Joker.
Yeah.
Is that, tell a story that of what would drive a person crazy.
What do you think?
And
will
these
be
are
the-
any of these traumatic stories.
Could be
you
the
know,
Joker.
the few, and who knows
Yeah.
how many others. I'd love to see like his first
Well,
outline of how many different ideas he had to do that
Right.
in the movie of different stories that they were going to work. Like, okay, we'll do this one, and this one. Maybe
Yeah.
it's 30 of them. But just the concept of take someone and break them mentally, emotionally, and you don't know because even one of them could be like he's just for shiggles. So like he just decided he's gonna do this stuff, but like the concept of either society or the mob, which is that's what the for the I almost felt like it was kind of a nod to Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of the yeah.
Where it was like, because he's talking about his wife was killed by the mob or whatever because of the gambling debts, and they scratched her face, and then in that the Joker facilitated her story by being the mobster.
Right.
That and like so I really enjoyed that. And Dark Knight just we got Batman Begins. We had this version of a superstore, and then he notched it up with a real supervillain.
Yeah.
Because what I even loved about Batman Begins is that he did Ra's al Ghul, and he did the
so great.
So
such a great.
It's a great start.
It's
such
great.
a great
It
start
is.
to it. Yeah.
with a background like you're into. Like like that whole introduction to how he became Batman was so well done.
It's still the best origin story.
So
and
well
it's
done.
amazing that he was already, when he got founded by the League of Shadows, he's already been trained as a fighter.
He's already been
trained.
fighting.
They
and
just
doing
took him
his
to
thing.
that next level, and then you find out it's a manipulation. That he was
Just to get him to
seeked
do-
out, and he was manipulated, showing the grand scheme
Yeah.
of Ra's al
Yeah.
Ghul,
Right.
of like this guy's like
He's a genius.
genius,
Yeah.
like made this situation happen in this city, and then basically followed this
And
kid
made him
through his
become
life and
Then
made
he's-
him
yeah.
Batman.
then
You know what I
he-
mean? Like,
So is that your number one now?
yeah,
or?
no, not my number one.
Because you're
No,
saying
no,
it-
no,
very
it's not.
deep
No,
into
You're very
it's
deep
not.
into it.
No, because
Yeah.
what I want to be my number one has to be my number one. But
Yeah.
I mean, honest, there's gonna be honorable mention. You know,
There's gonna
wrapping
be
up.
This
'Cause
is
it's
crazy
hard.
So you're-
because I think we're leaning towards the same thing, you and I.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we have the
Which
same
I
number
don't- I
one,
don't
but I'm
like it.
fine with that.
No, and we also probably have our same number 2.
Oh, really?
Oh.
You're gonna also go
Oh.
Dark
I'm
Knight.
going Dark Knight for my number 2. I think, which is crazy because Dark Knight has always been pretty much my number
Were you
one.
already leaning that way, or did I convince you?
No.
Yeah.
You were leaning that way
No,
too.
I had my top. When we
Yeah.
said top 3,
You had yours
I
in mind.
went, I
You
looked
had-
at the
you-
list,
number 2,
and
that's
I go,
it.
I just made it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to emphasize more on what you said. I think you said pretty much most of the things that need to be said about that movie. There's problems in it. A lot of people find problems in every movie. Yes, there's problems in it. But that movie, that Joker, that film,
Why
just-
so serious?
It changed. I mean, it changed the game.
the whole
It changed the game.
superhero. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it changed actors to be like, hey, get into character.
Yeah.
Find a character for this. It's a comic
Well,
book, but find something else.
Just
that-
one last thing to elaborate on: the action sequences, the fight sequences
Yeah.
in that film, like Captain
That's-
America, Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
different genre, but the action sequences, that gritty, on the streets. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, just. Oh, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just the scene with the Batmobile and the truck, and
And
he's
it's-
launching at him, and the cycle, and you know he's just shooting at him. I mean, just those moments, like that's like the only other movie.
Yeah. And there's no music in those
superhero-wise.
moments, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, which is genius.
It's just sound effects.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius. They give you the full impact.
The
and
casting
Yeah.
in that movie was crazy.
Oh, it's great.
Because, I mean, if I
Gary
start
Oldman.
naming people, I mean,
Gary
Gary
Oldman.
Oldman.
Gary
but
Oldman,
if you
yeah.
start naming just people, you're like,
Yeah,
dude,
everyone
that
involved.
casting
Yeah.
was
Eric
incredible.
Roberts. Even Eric Roberts.
Eric
did it.
Roberts.
It's great.
Yeah. I'm saying
It
Eric
is.
Roberts
It's
is
a
good.
great that movie.
It's
You know?
crazy.
Nolan likes to use older actors too,
Yeah.
like just
It's-
there.
It's just one of those.
Tarantino does it too. Like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of things.
Tarantino does a
There's a lot
lot.
of things that the greats
Yeah.
have in common, like Tarantino and
Yeah.
Gunn with music. Like the
Yeah.
greats all have a lot of things
Yeah.
in common. What's your number 3?
Number 2.
I mean, sorry, number 2. Yeah, number 2.
number two.
Wait a
two.
minute.
I gotta go back to
Alright,
number
so-
3.
All right. It's
you-
Dark Knight. It's Dark Knight.
It really is.
It really is.
Wow.
It's
So-
crazy.
This is really rough for me because I really, really enjoy Batman Begins. That's the one I've watched the most
Right.
out of all his movies, Batman Begins.
Oh wow.
Because when it first
That's
came
not
out,
what I thought it was.
That's not what I thought it was
yeah,
either.
it's the one I
What did
watched
we-
the most.
Okay, I gotta say. On 3. 1, 2, 3, Insomnia.
Tenet.
Oh really? I thought it was Insomnia.
I love Insomnia.
I know you
Insomnia's
do,
good.
and you talk about it a lot.
Yeah, you know
so I
why? Because
always
no one
thought-
gives it credit. It's
Yeah.
and it's funny on the list. Insomnia and The Dark Knight Rises might be the worst movies he has. Those are great movies.
Yeah.
Insomnia is a great movie.
No, it's a great movie.
It's a great and it's a remake. And Robert Williams,
Yeah, no.
Al Pacino,
Al Pacino, yeah, incredible.
Hilary Swank. It's a really good movie. So actually, that should be a
doesn't
necessity.
get,
Yeah.
doesn't get a.
So Batman Begins is the
but-
one you've seen the
But
most.
Batman Begins is the first. It's the one I was most hype about when it first came out. I heard, oh, new Batman, because we're coming off from George Clooney Batman. So
Yeah, I know.
When I
That's
started,
a big jump and big leap.
when they were started seeing
And then they
rumors,
brought him back.
yeah, we're not talking about that. They were talking about rumors about a new Batman, more grounded. They were naming actors. You know, they were saying Guy Pearce might be with even what's this guy, Cillian Murphy, who ended up being a Scarecrow. He actually read for that Batman role.
Fans, and the greatest thing is they brought him back for part 2.
Yeah,
for
and
part 3.
all three of them.
For
All
part
three of
3 is Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't. Yeah, Scarecrow wasn't in part 2.
He's in
at all.
2.
He's
in
in
the
two.
beginning, yeah.
Oh yeah, the very beginning. That's right. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. At the very beginning. Yeah, established villain.
So I was very hyped for Batman Begins. When
Yeah.
it came out, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And when it came out on digital, because that's when DVD started coming out on digital, I had it on my. I'm dating myself. I had it on my iPod. 80 gigabit iPod. I had that in Goodwill Hunting, and while I was at work,
Is it
at
the
lunch,
one I've seen the most?
While I was at
Because
work,
I have it on my. I
traveling.
still have it on my phone. It was the first movie I added to my Vudu account or
Yeah.
whatever account. So I'm trying to think. Like I watched that movie
For
on
me,
my
it was for
phone
sure the
a
first
bunch of times.
The first digital movie I had.
Yeah,
So,
same.
yeah.
So you
Same.
watched it a
And I
lot.
watched it
So
a lot
I watched
also.
it all the time because I had it on my iPod.
What did we see the most together that we binged? Was it Dark Knight?
That
or
was
was
the
it
Dark Knight Rises. That was Dark Knight
We
Rises.
saw Dark Knight Rises like in the same week, like 4 times.
So for sure, I mean, I can't really say more about it. You already guys said it already.
Here's the thing about Batman, right? The
Nolan Batman.
The Nolan Batman, the first one, right?
Yeah, Batman Begins.
The thing that kills me on that movie, and I wish he would have just figured out a way to do it better, was the fighting scenes on that movie.
Yeah, because they're very close up. Yeah,
If he would have just a little
backed
bit
up.
back.
Yeah, but you got to remember the time. Born Identity was like the big thing.
Yeah.
So everything was. The first movie was
But
very
it didn't-
close up.
It didn't work for that.
It didn't work for that Batman. It worked-ish, right? But just a little bit of wide.
If he would have just a little bit, just go a little bit
which was
back.
great on the Batman that just came out.
Right.
Did it right because
Right.
you could actually see the
Right,
fights.
and that's the only thing because that movie is amazing.
It's great.
Batman
It's a great
Begins is
movie.
amazing.
It's like for me, honestly, it's right there with The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But like you guys said that just the acting performances of Heath
Oh,
Ledger,
yeah, Heath Ledger was just- I think Heath
everyone
Ledger
that's
was
there,
just blew that
he
away
changed
so
it.
But
much.
what I will tell you, fight coordination wise, in part 2 they got the filming of the fight scenes better and the
Yeah.
wider angle and all that. But fight coordination, the first one is
it's there.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so-
'cause it's brutal fighting.
The
It's
actual
like-
style
but
of
it's
fighting.
so close and so
Yeah.
dark
Yeah.
that if
It's hard
he
to say.
would have just that movie would have probably been my number 2.
But for
My
sure,
number
that-
one.
And I will tell you too, what I love is like, so we got what we got when Tim Burton did it. Nolan does a thing, and in fairness, when it comes to Batman fight scenes, since Nolan did Batman, they've all been better. Affleck's Batman fight scenes, incredible. That one with the building. And now in The Flash, Michael Keaton's Batman fight scenes.
Yeah.
Man, there's some brutal
They
moments in
they
that.
went
Like,
with
and it
they-
matches with that type of Batman,
it does,
right?
it
It's
does.
not like
It
what
does,
Ben Affleck
but-
was doing.
Like
But
the
that's what I'm
video
saying.
game Batman.
No,
Right,
yeah,
right.
Nolan took the jump, and I'll be honest, that approach to reality, again, he developed like a full character of Bruce Wayne and Batman definitely being all one person. I mean, they are, but the concept of all being really one person, like it's all Batman and kind of a Bruce Wayne, or kind of like he really molded on one character, but it led to that real world mentality that then gets us the Batman with
Right.
Robert Pattinson of the detective thing. Like
Right.
like there is no way you're
Such
going
amazing.
after the detective thing and
Yeah.
any of the
Such
Tim
amazing.
Burton, Schumacher,
Such
because
amazing.
it's so comic book that they lose
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But because of Nolan of going, because he did
He
do
did
the
do the
detective
detective,
stuff.
yeah.
He did it.
It
And
just
then,
wasn't the main
it wasn't the
plot
main
of it.
focus because he did a lot
Yeah.
of things about Batman. He did the fighting
Yeah.
stuff. He did the
course.
detective stuff. He's a full package.
Right.
But then that finally gave us the aspect like, hey, we can actually just explore that one part of it
Right.
and get really deep into the detective
Makes that
part of it.
so good.
And which is amazing because that's the greatest thing about Ra's al Ghul in the animated series. He always
Right.
calls him
detective, yeah, which he is.
detective,
Batman is
and
a
he
detective,
is.
yeah.
He's Sherlock Holmes. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, Batman definitely had to be on my list.
so
'cause
that's
it's my
amazing. So we
favorite,
all have the
so-
same
I
too.
think
So that's
pretty cool.
that
Yeah.
makes it
And
a
it's
big
crazy
movie
because for
it's on
years-
all 3 of our lists.
For years, I'm telling you, Dark Knight has always been top 1.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that out of there. Top 1, top 2. Like there's no. Obviously, it all fluctuates on how you feel.
If
what
at
you're
the
watching,
moment,
what's
yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah, this list can easily change for any one of
Yeah.
us in a
Oh,
week,
for sure,
if
for
not
sure.
days.
I will say that The Dark Knight and Man of Steel also are top 1 and 2
I
on
wish
my
we can
superhero
add-
movies.
No, yeah,
I
same
wish
thing.
I could add Man of Steel in this.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
put
yeah.
it
yeah.
that
No,
way.
but as in superhero movies, those
yeah.
two on
Yeah.
top. For
Oh,
me.
no,
and Batman
100%.
Begins 3. Yeah, that's
100%.
So now we're gonna go.
I think we're gonna change this completely around.
so our number one.
We'll talk about it in another podcast.
Yeah.
But
So our number ones.
Our number one.
So I'll start. I started. Yeah. So I'll start. So I'll finish. Oh wow.
I already know. I have.
We
a
might
feeling
all
I
be.
know-
Oh no, he said his number one is not.
It's not the one that he's watched the most.
It's
That's
not
all
the
he
one I
said.
watched the
Which is
most.
Batman
And it's,
Begins.
and it's
Yeah.
not his top threes.
But we're all. I think.
Which was
So
Batman
we're all gonna have the
Begins.
same number one.
I don't know. I don't think so. I
Ten-
think two
Tenet.
of us might have it.
Tenet.
I think 2 of you might have the
Tenet.
same
You
one.
view. Wow.
Tenet.
So you're. Oh wow. So Tenet. Yeah, Tenet. I've. That might be the one I've watched the most now.
I'm gonna piggyback already
Right.
from the get go.
It's Tenet.
That's my number
That's
one.
your
Tenet,
number
he
one?
knew it. Then he said, he goes, I have a feeling we're going to go.
I
and
had
say-
a feeling. I had a feeling.
For me,
That's my number
personally, what hurt it is also what made it so big for me is the COVID. Is during the era of COVID when, you had more time at home on your hands. But I did get to see it in the theater. I did. I watched it
You did.
3 times in the theater. Twice? Saw it twice in the theaters, which I'm glad I did. And it was amazing. I saw it in XD, and then I saw it in IMAX. I saw XD with my wife, and then I saw it in IMAX with Jedi, with your brother. And what was even amazing is like there was so much going on. That's what I love about that movie. Is like you watch it over and over, and it's like, and I know you for the same reason as me. Is like going down the rabbit hole, looking at stuff on YouTube, looking at the the things about the name backwards and the tablet. What's it called again? The stone. Yeah, that and like. I was focused. There was moments that even my wife caught something before I did. I always bring it up because it was so cool. I'm like, what? Like, yeah. And I was looking at so many things as we were already getting to a point in the film, that things were like, what is going on? Like when you're halfway through before you finally get the full reveal, and all this stuff is happening. And my wife goes, hey, and she kind of like your wife does this a lot, where she finds mistakes in movies.
Right.
She's really good at that. Like, oh, they left it in, not like a boom, but just like bad editing or whatever.
Yeah.
And she goes, hey, the side mirror's cracked. And I'm looking like, that's like, well, I guess they got a car with a cracked side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And no, it's because we're and I'm like, oh man. And that's when I realized like I have to see. I knew at that moment, the first time watching the movie, like I'm gonna have to see this movie so many
couple of times, yeah.
because there's gonna be so many damn details in this. And when you watch it, when you watch all the people who've done the animated videos and the breaking about, it's like how long this must have taken, and the work that went into planning, and the
To try to
concept
make it so
to make it work so
Forward
fluidly,
and backwards
to film
to make it work.
all the scenes.
Yeah.
All these actors had to film all these scenes. The writer, each version in both ways,
Yeah.
so they could play. I mean, just like there would have been so many people that like, oh, this is such a great idea, and after day 3 of filming, went, oh my god, what did we get into?
Yeah.
It just had to be. There had to be so many people on that staff that said like, like halfway through, like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah.
Until it was over. But it had to become so daunting, like so like stressful. And I mean, the pressure on that, like this is so much work. Like you can't just film a scene. Like you almost feel never accomplished. It's like already done. Like now we got to do it again, and now we got to do it again backwards. And now we got to do that again backwards, and now we got to do it like just the mentality.
It was so.
It's it's the
Such
equivalent
a
of
great-
you had an entire cast had to do so many scenes where you always hear actors complain about this, which really Ezra Miller is not a very popular person right now, but I bet you his complaint will be what a lot of actors who have to play themselves in multiple parts will complain about. It's like it's daunting because you got to film the scene and then you got to film the scene again with the double,
With the other one,
and
right.
then you got to change. Sometimes you have to do it at the same moment at the same time.
Yeah.
And we actually when we flashback to one of our episodes, the Jason Font Q&A episode, he talked about it because he played twin brothers
On the
in the Power Rangers,
Yeah.
and he had to do that to like quickly change his hair and whatever, and then do the scene again, and like that, and that's simple compared to this, where it's now it's like everyone in the cast has to do the scene again and do it again backwards and everything, the coordination, and then the special effects, which Nolan's good at not really overdoing special effects at all. He likes practical. Makes it even harder. It's amazing. I mean, amazing, and again, great acting. Never. I only had seen him in Ballers.
John David Washington.
John Washington. John David Washington. Denzel's kid. Who's like.
Do you think he acts like Denzel?
Not at all. Not at all. He's had moments.
He has
It's,
little, but he doesn't. He's a very
in
different-
Ballers. You don't watch Ballers as much.
I don't. Actually, my wife watched.
Yeah, and Ballers, he has moments, and they're all the same kind of moment. So I have a feeling
It's
that
Denzel.
It's Denzel, but when Denzel, and I hate to say this, Training Day,
Denzel.
I have a feeling Denzel as the disciplinarian when he had that role as a father,
Yeah.
is kind of like that, because you noticed in Ballers the same thing. He has that's learned behavior. That's how he yelled at him probably when he was
Yeah.
a kid. I mean, I'm not saying to that extent, the hyperbole
just,
of King Kong, but like that
Strict,
that
maybe, like,
gun,
very
like
strict,
He reminds me a lot of his father.
Yeah, I don't see it in the acting.
I don't in the acting, except for those moments, and that's what I'm saying. Depending on the
He
role,
reminds me of his father.
not for me.
You have to start watching. Well, you have to watch the older
Young
films.
Denzel, yeah, I do.
The older films.
I do, and I
younger Denzel.
I see a lot of.
Yeah.
I see a lot of his.
Younger mannerisms and
I'm going to tell you where the obvious generation gap is. Obviously, because they're father and son, is I never like Idris, who's probably pretty close to age to Denzel Washington.
Closer.
Yeah, obviously a lot closer. But
Yeah.
Idris is kind of like acting wise, generation wise, the middle between that father and son, in the sense that I never think swag when I think Denzel. Has he played characters with that swag, that like almost urban debonair? Like he has, but I don't think that about him. He's like when you see,
as in real life.
yeah, in real life, like I don't know, not just real life. Like a lot of his characters don't carry that. He doesn't take that. He's played badass, like Man on Fire, but I don't get this like that football player, like that pizzazz. You know what I mean? Like I can really.
The
see
kids
that.
call it Riz right
but
now.
the kid has it a
They
lot.
call it
He has
Riz.
so much. Yeah, well, there you go, Riz. So,
Yeah,
but that's
Riz.
what it's like.
Well, he has it in that
John
film.
David. Yes, but that's what I'm saying. But John David in general, like in Ballers, has it.
Yeah.
In this one, and the other one,
I think that's part
what is
of
it?
the
Black
character that he
Klansman.
needs to play.
Right.
Black Klansman. Then he's getting typecasted because that is in Black Klansman. No, even the most recent
In
one,
Black
Christian
Klansman,
Bale. Same thing. He just has like Michael B. Jordan. You know what I mean? He has like that.
I think Denzel had that too, man. It was just a
He does have
different
it.
for a different
He has
time.
it. It's just
it's
a different time.
The roles,
the way it looked,
roles
the
are
way
very
it
different.
felt, it was different.
It's
It's a
just
different
the
time period.
character,
It's a
man.
different
I'm
time
telling
period.
you, it's there. Like Denzel has always had that swag, dude. I'm telling you.
And that's
this is why I love Denzel. It's because he was so different from all the other actors that I was watching at that
Right.
time. I'm telling you,
He has that swag without overdoing it, like
He
Will Smith
doesn't
did.
overdo
Like
it.
Will Smith did in the '90s. He had that swag,
Yes.
but he overdid it.
He overdoes it.
right.
This is what I
Will
mean.
Smith
Denzel was more
overdoes- he's
subtle about it.
But
Yeah.
But this is what I
has it.
mean.
Yeah.
But what I mean is like, but he has it intentionally for the role. He doesn't have that, like that. That's not his natural.
Also in
demeanor.
real life.
That's what I'm saying. That's not his natural.
Day to
That's in
day.
real life. That I wouldn't believe that's his natural demeanor. I think
Are
that
we talking about Denzel?
the father. Where the son, I think that is. You understand? Like with the son, I think that is because he's younger.
No, not because he's young. I mean,
yeah.
It's a different time period.
It's different, yeah.
No, because he was born into a family of money.
Well, that too.
Denzel
Well, yeah.
was. He doesn't need to. It's not a thing that he just learned to be swag.
No, but that'd definitely help.
Because of
But
nepotism.
his father plays. I'm telling you, man. You
He
have
has
to-
the swag. Yeah, he
listen,
does.
I am a big Denzel fan. I'm telling you right now. Watch any of his old movies.
I did.
He has that. But you're saying you did.
I
I'm
did.
saying
I do.
rewatch them.
Rewatch it in a
Dude,
different
the only
perspective.
time and why, because he was an unseasoned actor, and you see it because it's in a role that really didn't call for it, and it's when he got his Oscar nomination when that was for Glory, because it's a Civil War film. It's like, yeah, this character shouldn't have swag, and it did because he was a young guy, and I think that, but it did.
And I don't think
it did
that
make
character,
it.
I don't think that character is swag. I think that
It's not swag, but that character, he has a confidence level that a slave wouldn't, you know what I mean, at that time wouldn't have had.
Well, because
but it's what
he
blew
was-
up his character, and obviously what makes that scene in that movie is you don't see too many. Like they made him a very tough exterior of a character. It's turning into a Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. This is turning too. We got like 10 more minutes.
Nah,
left, so-
where we can have another 15, 20 easily. But he was playing a character that was a very rough exterior, a very confident person, and then they did that because the buildup was for the vulnerability of when he cries later, and
Right.
and
That's
that
the
he
whole
takes
point
it,
of that-
and
yeah,
that's the
that
whole
character.
point of doing that character that
Right.
way, to then bring you up for that moment to have that impact on you. That look what
yeah.
they did to this guy.
I don't want to turn into a Denzel.
We could do. We're gonna do a Denzel.
We're gonna have to.
episode,
But
another-
just to
Father,
tell
son.
you-
We're gonna do a
just to
father,
tell you
son.
right now, straight off the back, that is my favorite.
Number
Denzel
one.
is my favorite actor
Okay,
by
Denzel.
far.
All
he's
right.
great.
And
He's a
I'm
great actor.
telling you,
Yeah.
from being my favorite actor, 100%, that man has swag. It's
I'm not
subtle.
saying I'm not saying he doesn't have it.
It's subtle.
All right,
I know.
All right.
But
So
it's
again,
there.
favorite
but-
actor Denzel, and his son is in your favorite Nolan movie. So
There you
Tenet,
go.
no, number one for you guys.
Yeah,
but that's
Tenet
good.
hands down.
Yeah, no,
Man,
it's
Tenet's
definitely
really
my
good.
favorite.
It's so good.
It's my number one.
No,
And the
Tenet's
soundtrack,
insane.
the score is
Oh
amazing.
my god, that's
Because it's
definitely the
mostly
most
like
listened to
sound
score.
effects. You know, it's not
It's
really
my
like.
number one.
That's
Tick,
definitely
tick,
the
tick, tick,
score
tick, tick,
I've
tick,
listened to the most. And here's the one thing that what I wanted to do. Oh, I think I know what his number one is. So I'm not gonna say what I'm about to say until he says what his number one is.
All right.
But
Yeah.
but just to
Because
not
I
to
wanted
say
my
too-
number one to be a different number one, but I couldn't because I didn't dive as deep into this film. But I know what you're gonna say. I have a feeling it's the impact that film had on me. But go ahead, you
Yeah,
finish.
that-
before
that
he
For
says
my
one.
number one,
That
I think
movie-
I know what you know. I think I know now what your
think you
number
do,
one
man.
is.
Especially
and
since
I
you thought
wanted it to be.
Insomnia.
I know, but I wanted it to be my number one. But I was like, I can't deny Tenet from my list. And I'll be honest, I would have to kick Prestige off my list, but Prestige will always be in my top three.
I don't think you know what my number one is gonna be.
All right, let's go.
You know what I love about Tenet?
What do you love about Tenet?
Dude, let me tell you what I love about Tenet. Is what's
Repo.
this guy's name?
Robert Pattinson.
Opera.
No, it's definitely
I'm gonna turn out.
Uh,
I'll be honest. That's what Tenet, and
Taylor
again,
Johnson.
because Christopher Nolan's great with casting. That's the moment that I stopped hating right away on the possibility of him being a good Batman.
Robert, let me tell you something about Robert Pattinson.
I hadn't seen Lighthouse yet, and a couple other things
Even the
that I
Lighthouse
started
movie,
watching.
He is actually a really good actor.
He really
in
is.
Other movies.
He really
budget,
is.
You know,
I
independent
prejudged
movies.
him because of all the Twilight
With
stuff.
the Twilight stuff.
I love watching him die in Harry Potter because of it. In Goblet of Fire, which Goblet of Fire my favorite
he did
things.
the best thing he could have done for his career. Did Twilight and then just do independent stuff or low
But-
budget stuff.
and
things
then
people wouldn't watch.
And
'cause
because
now
of
he's an
that,
actor.
I didn't watch any
Real
of that
actor.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I just kept judging him based on Twilight because that was the first time he was big. Yeah. If you watch
He-
Goblet of
yeah,
Fire,
he-
he's great in Goblet of Fire because
No,
he's a
he
small
did- he's
supporting
young.
role.
He's also young.
He did other things that were.
Oh,
He did
yeah.
that. I went.
nobody was telling.
I know,
people
and I
to go
started.
watch.
I started
exactly.
watching after Tenet.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm watching Tenet. I don't care who's in it.
Yeah.
It's Nolan. I'm gonna watch it no
Right.
matter
Yeah.
who the hell's in it. And I was like, you know what? This guy can play Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne. I go, that kind of felt like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I go, but what's crazy
good, yeah.
because that's not the version of Bruce Wayne he plays.
No,
he plays
it's
a
not.
version of Bruce
It's
Wayne I
not.
don't like.
Actually,
But-
the version of Bruce Wayne is
Yeah.
the guy from Tenet.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
guy that I saw.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy is Bruce Wayne. And then when they gave me Bruce Wayne, like, that guy's a Bruce Wayne, I go, but that is Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is a
for
Batman.
sure Batman.
That's a
Yeah.
young Batman, for sure.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I was, again, thanks to Tenet, thanks to Nolan, I was
Yeah.
like,
No, my
thank you for
favorite,
giving me
my
that
favorite
confidence.
thing of that was the bad guy for sure.
Oh,
Sator,
yes. He's incredible.
Kenneth, whatever.
Kenneth Branagh directed the first Thor movie too.
What?
director first.
The good one.
The good one. The
the
good one.
first one. Man, it's the thing about Nolan. Once again, he
Surrounds
finds
himself with good people.
that he knows. He knows.
He
an
finds
actor.
role players,
He sees
you
an
know.
actor. When he's writing this or when he's getting help, he sees something in these people, and he can like transform them because the way that guy acts as a bad guy in that movie,
Yeah.
dude, I was like, holy shoot! Like,
I'll tell you the craziest thing with Tenet. And here's the thing. Almost Inception, you would almost want a sequel just to like know for sure if he made it out or
Right.
not. It would be scary because if there's a sequel, then that means he didn't. You know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah.
that's what it would mean.
Yeah, I don't want a
but there is
sequel. I
no
don't want a
movie
sequel.
I want a sequel more than any other movie in my life than
Yeah.
Tenet.
He's never gonna do it.
I know he's not because he doesn't.
only did the Batman.
which
series.
is
That's
crazy.
it.
I know, which is crazy because I want a sequel to Tenet so bad for so many reasons because there's so many theories and you know what I mean. So many things like this could play out so awesome,
Yeah.
like and you want it all, like and
Kick-Ass
all the
is in that.
yeah, no, it,
Yeah.
which is
Taylor
another
Johnson.
setup, such a
Taylor.
small part.
Taylor Johnson,
So
yeah.
many theories with that
Small.
character.
But they're saying that
And
he's the
incredible
younger
in that.
version of the Michael
Which
Caine
is saying
version.
because
Yes!
of the
So good,
book
man.
bag.
Which
Yeah.
makes sense. No, that's
The book bag was
no,
Robert
that's
Pattinson.
Pattinson.
So Robert
That's
Pattinson, that
Robert.
he's the
And
kid.
then he's
Yeah.
the other. Yes.
And it has to be the kid because he says that you recruited him. Like, why would you give me so
Yeah.
many things? But it is a
Yeah.
complete story.
It is.
He
It's
gives
great.
you a complete
Full-
story.
full
And I'm gonna tell you now, no
story.
matter what.
And that's why we're gonna watch it right now.
Yes, and one of the we should. And one of the best moments ever is, and I want to see the day. Like if I ever get to see John David in a panel or anything like that, I already know what my question is. I'm gonna ask it, which is. I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. Whose idea was that?
Yeah.
Because I still give Nolan complete credit of going, that was ad-lib, but that is genius.
I think that
'Cause
is
that
ad-lib.
so out of left field for this
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
that it's always gonna, but it was just perfect.
Yeah,
And then he
it's-
Yeah.
goes down with those guys.
Yeah.
Like
I'm telling you right now,
throws
that guy's
down
not
with
gonna
those
do a
guys.
panel for anything.
Of
in
course not. No, he's
years.
not.
I know.
What is it, the
No,
creator?
If he does, he's gonna like
Yeah.
charge $300, which I'm not gonna.
You're not
do.
gonna.
Yeah.
Maybe for
Yeah.
Denzel though.
Yeah.
300 for Denzel
No
is different.
kidding.
Denzel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
that's
Denzel.
Then the
So-
creator that's coming out,
should be
the
good
But,
previews
but
for that,
and
amazing.
dude, that fight scene
with the cheese grater and everything.
No, that
At the
fight
airport.
scene
At the airport. Yeah.
Wow.
when everything
So
comes
good.
together
Yeah.
and you're sitting
He had
there,
to film
seeing
that
it again.
both
and you're
ways.
sitting there,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, I could.
And then you hear the music.
I could have literally
Hit-
just walked
Yeah.
away and be like, this is the greatest thing. Like,
That's why it's my number one.
It's number one.
I'm out.
That was my number one.
I'm out. I don't need to watch anymore.
When all
Thank
that
you, I'm
played out again, when he went back into reverse and all
Genius.
played out, I'm just sitting there like, this is
Genius.
This is
and there's
incredible.
still people that don't like that movie. So let's go
I
on
know.
to your
It's your
number
number
So
one.
Tenet. No, it's not.
Yeah, we're gonna end on that. Yeah,
you said you thought what was my number one?
You want me to guess first?
Yeah, I guess.
Dunkirk.
What do you think it is?
Do I have to guess your number
Go ahead,
one?
because this is great. You guys don't know.
Because if it's not Dunkirk, I know what it is.
Yeah, you have to know.
Then I know what it is. Wow, it's number one?
Do
It's a good movie, man.
I have to look at this list. I can't do this right now,
all right.
bro.
Can I take the second guess then?
No,
Another
don't
guess.
take a second guess. I'm
No,
trying.
he gets the other one.
Go ahead, go,
He
yo,
gets the other
please.
guess. That's it.
Your number one.
You should know. You should know.
He's
This
gonna
movie,
say it now.
this movie came out. I was super hyped for
He's
it.
going to say it now.
I had thought about it all the time.
Then maybe I'm wrong again.
Your number one. Jesus, this is gonna be crazy.
I want to say I wanted my number one to be.
So you thought it was Dunkirk? Dunkirk is.
I
a
wanted
great
my number one to
movie.
be Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say while he's looking to guess.
And it was so stressful.
Not
when
just
they're
that, that is stressful.
singing
Because you were talking about
and
the sound effects. That's why I thought it was
soundtrack.
me when you said sound effects.
Score, yeah.
The fact that ticking clock.
Yeah.
And we saw it together in
We
the
saw it
Discovery
together,
IMAX.
yeah.
I don't know if you noticed. My knee, from the moment it set off, that the first shot got
Yeah.
fired over the line, did not stop.
Did not stop.
I had
I
the
did notice.
worst
I don't
case
know
of
if-
restless leg syndrome
I
in
don't
my
know if I
life.
We were
between
both like that.
His Inception or The Prestige. It's one of those two for him.
I think it's a Memento.
Oof.
It's Memento.
Oh.
It's not Memento.
Which one is it? You got it. Inception.
Wow.
Inception's my number one. And I like that you guys didn't know what.
Inception is your
Well,
Tenet.
because it's one of the dude.
I love Inception.
Tom Hardy.
Yo, you don't understand how much I love
No,
Inception.
I can
I
imagine.
jammed
Tom Hardy.
You don't have to tell me.
I jammed. That's your number three. It's
my
your
number three.
I jammed to that soundtrack
Yeah.
constantly. When that, which isn't actually like, I mean, that's more of the trailer. That's actually more of the trailer, but
and it worked.
and it worked.
It
It changed trailers
It did
for the
change.
next like 7
He
years.
still changes trailers
Look,
all the time, which I love about
Listen,
it.
that bong thing changed how everyone made trailers for 5 to 6 years until Suicide came out,
Suicide,
and
yeah.
then
This is
everything's
the whole
music,
music
which is still the thing right now. But I hope it changes.
Oh, he did it with Dunkirk.
With Dunkirk, with the time,
That
the
timing
clock,
thing is
yeah.
crazy, bro.
I mean, it's not much I could say about Inception.
No,
It's just great. I love the fact that you could see a lot of his love for Bond films.
Right.
Yes.
The way certain things are shot, you could tell he is a Bond.
Which is Tenet too.
fan.
Like
Tenet
how
also.
Nolan hasn't done Bond,
Yeah.
but I'm glad because he did Tenet.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't need him to do Bond.
That's like
which
that's one
would
of the
be
most
amazing,
superior
but-
spy films
I don't need
ever.
I
Yeah,
don't
was
need
Tenet.
the way, I mean, the way it was shot, the score, sound effects, just the story, both being the heist, right? It's a mind heist.
Yes.
My heist. Dude, that's
They-
so
mind
crazy.
it's
heist.
basically
That's amazing.
It's basically Heat, right? Well, he did some of Heat in the Dark
Yes.
Knight.
Yes.
But he also has a love story with the wife and the children. And
Very deep.
Where you ever see his kids again. I mean, it's very, very deep. And the lucid dreaming of it all. And it's everything I like about Nolan in just one movie, in one Nolan film.
Well, for sure, that's the culmination of Inception leads to Interstellar,
Right.
leads to Tenet. What other mind, what other director, maybe a Spielberg, but not in that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not in the way Nolan does it. Would have the mind to have that type of thought about reality and science and just basic reality. I mean, what would say just reality, that the reality we live in is like it's Matrix-ish.
Right.
You know what I mean? That concept of like, is the world we live in really bound
Really
to
what
these
it is.
rules?
Right.
And the level of thought that goes into that. And obviously, I think the biggest deviation would be Inception because it's pretty much our time. That he didn't do like a 20-year jump into the future.
It was our
like
time,
that.
yeah. It was
So what I
2010,
mean? So it's like
2011.
it feels really weird, but it is the concept like of even Tenet and stuff too. It's like, well, yeah, that is a type of technology that would be hidden. You know what I mean?
Right.
That wouldn't be a
wouldn't-
common
I
thing.
mean,
Exactly.
Military
like,
would use it.
Exactly,
Before anyone,
but it was like a little bit more mainstream than
Yeah.
that was acceptable because of like they had like the dens that like an opium den, but it was
Right.
Inception dens, like people don't mind. But here we are and VR, and it kind of touches on a lot of things.
A lot of things, yeah.
That,
I mean,
not to that level, but it's metaphoric and just it's almost like the best episode of Black Mirror episode ever.
And then they have the
at
twist
beginning of it.
after everything they've gone through, the heist, the
and the casting,
casting.
everybody in their part is like, I'll be
perfect.
honest. I mean, obviously you saw it made sense for Joseph Gordon-Levitt
Right.
to be
That
technically
scene.
Robin,
That
Right.
scene.
because you see him in that fight scene and his
Yeah.
demeanor and his person, and Tom Hardy.
And it was done. I mean, it was.
There's no CGI.
There's no CGI in
There's
that
no
scene. He
CGI.
actually
Dude, the-
rotated
I love that
the
so
room
much.
while he's running. I mean, the way he does things in those movies, like the train going through the. Also,
Beautiful.
he did that in the street. Like,
Beautiful. And
it's
and
so
and,
many-
and then they're going from the dream
Yeah.
into the
To another
dream,
dream.
into
Yeah.
the dream.
The glacier coming
to
down were
to the-
models.
Yes, and to the nerve-wracking moment of this is all happening at the
same
different
time.
but because this one's deeper,
Yeah.
it's happening faster. This is happening slower, but it's happening.
And then there's the
to-
little bit of the
and
anxiety
the car
that he
is
does in
crashing
Dunkirk.
off the bridge.
Yeah.
Like you're like, ah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and all that with the score, and then remember the heist isn't really the main story. It's the
And
kids
Leo.
and the wife, right? So
Yeah.
at the end, all of that chaos, and then
It's
at the end,
because
it goes back, and it's just like, all right, did it move? Is he
here?
in? Is he out? And then you got to think about that, and then he doesn't tell us directly.
And he
So it's
never
just
tells you.
it's just a great twist. It's just amazing
is.
twist. It's
it's genius.
It's
a
something
wobble.
I-
it's a
I-
wobble.
I
I'm
bet-
saying
I'm
saying
gonna
it's
say
a
it's a
wobble.
wobble.
You think it's a wobble, or you don't think you're not in the wobble camp again? What was it?
you mean wobble as in he's still in the
He's
dream?
still he's alive. Like,
alive.
No, I think he made it out.
He made it.
out.
Yeah. I think it has to be.
It has to be. For
But,
it to.
but you can say that that's
But you-
what
you
he
could say
wanted
it
to
wasn't.
end. That he wanted to live his life in a dream for the rest of his life. You can say
yeah,
that.
the
That
whole
was his
point.
perfect moment.
But the
for,
issue-
for
The
that.
whole point is it doesn't matter to the character. He already accepted that
Just
no
to the
matter
character,
what,
but it
he's
matters
going
to
be
all.
with his children.
But it
He's
matters.
gonna be happy.
But the problem is, it matters to all the other characters because now I don't know what happened outside in the world.
Well,
Did the-
all the other characters got out.
We don't know that.
Yeah, no, all the other characters
If
got
he's
out.
still in the dream, how do we know that? That means he woke up thinking he's awake.
He never wakes up.
That means we're no.
He never wakes up.
Which means we never longer saw the real world again. We don't know what happened in the
But
real
we
world.
see the
We
other
don't
characters
care.
wake up. No, we do see.
That's
the
when
characters
he
wake up.
wakes
but I'm
up.
saying-
No, we see the characters
he doesn't
in the
wake up.
plane.
He wakes up looking at them, and they look at him.
Right, but we also see the scene of them already waking up, seeing him asleep,
But-
and they're like, "Oh shit, he's
Yeah,
still
but
asleep."
the Asian guy, what's his name now?
It's
from-
only Ken Watanabe's
Wait, Ken
character
Watanabe-
and
Yeah.
Leo that are left.
So you're saying they're both still stuck in the dream,
Then
It could-
you
in a
see the
different
scene,
level of the
you
dream.
see the scene of
if they didn't get out,
If
I'm
it
saying.
could be.
right. It could be exactly.
But then the others wake up.
The other
I
guys
don't
are
care-
out.
Honestly, I don't care about the other characters at
Right.
this moment.
Yeah.
I care about, is he in the dream?
Right.
Or did he
Which
wake
is the
up?
main story. The main story is always going to be Leo and his
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, exactly.
And at that moment, you can
Right.
say he found happiness because his children's are there.
Yeah.
He
and
decided
he
to look at his
decided
children.
never to go back into
Right.
wake up again.
Right.
That's
Yeah, but for
okay.
how long? They gotta take him to the hospital. He can be on life support the rest of his life.
It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
That's still his
the
life.
Who's
way
flipping
he
that
was.
bill?
That's the way he was.
That's his life.
It's not gonna be a
There's
happy
people-
ending, because
there's
at some
people in
point he's gonna
hospitals right
die.
now and nobody's flipping that
No, I
bill.
understand.
So I'm just saying.
Listen, he's still living
I'm
his
just
life
saying.
in the dream world.
You know?
I mean,
Dude, with
And
Cillian
that's why he's
Murphy,
happy.
and I said, look, like each story had that deep, like the Cillian Murphy story with
about
his
the father,
wind
yeah,
and
with the
pinwheel
Tom
and all
Berenger,
that.
and
Like,
he
it was-
used Tom Berenger.
Yes,
as
yes.
an older actor.
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
genius.
So-
Yes, Inception. number
Watch
one.
Sniper 1, Tom
Christopher
Berenger's
Nolan.
in that.
Yes, you have to watch that.
Billy
You have to
Zane,
watch that.
watch that.
You have to
There
watch
you
that.
go.
And the
Sniper.
substitute.
And
And the substitute. Well,
and
obviously
Danger
substitute.
Zone. So we're gonna definitely there you
Oh,
go.
there, that's it.
Wrap it up,
Well,
bro. Just in
right
time. We did
on
good,
time.
man.
All right.
We
So
did
you're
good.
number one.
My number one,
is my number
well, our
one.
number one, Tenet.
Tenet.
Yeah,
Your
mine's
number one is
Inception, which is your number 3.
And then
Which
going
is my number
backwards,
three.
number 2, Dark Knight.
Dark
Dark
Knight.
Knight.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. So we
Knight.
all
Number two.
equal number 2, and then number 3 we had different. I had Prestige,
What did I have in number 3? Oh, number 3 was in Interstellar.
Interstellar,
For today.
and
Inception,
and
yeah.
Inception.
Yeah.
You dropped on number 3. So Dunkirk didn't make the list.
But and I've seen Dunkirk so much.
And that's why, but see, same thing. Like,
So
literally, you can
much.
ask me a month from now to be Dunkirk. But
I've
now let's see
seen
what
it
happens
so
to
much.
Oppenheimer.
By the way, I've seen these movies
All of them.
constantly.
Yeah, same
he's
thing.
my favorite.
Same.
I could say that he's my
You know
favorite
what's
director.
funny?
No, I don't
Straight
do a
up,
full
so-
rewatch like you do.
I do.
I tell you
rewatch
what's
all the time.
funny.
Yeah.
I'm literally watching right now. I stopped watching it because we had to leave, but I'm watching The Following right now.
The Following's
As we
great.
speak, it's
Yeah.
on
gotta watch
Tubi
it again.
for free.
It's very good.
What?
But
I'm
do they
watching
have
tonight.
it the way that he meant it, like the going backwards, the different scenes, or do they have it?
No, they have
Straight
it in
up.
a linear.
They have it
it in
linear.
a linear.
Yeah, because they
Chronologically?
do it twice.
Yeah, I think that this one is in the linear.
In the linear, yeah.
version.
Both of them are good, but
Yeah.
that's where he got Memento. The
Yeah.
idea from Memento. Just
But
Memento
it's
is
good.
genius.
It's good, man. I'm watching that right now. It's just, I'm not even lying.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
in
gonna-
my
I'm gonna watch
Tubi.
it tonight.
I can show it to you.
Nerdcessity.
Nerdcessity, I guess.
Well, we said was Memento. I think we were gonna put
Memento.
Memento is the Nerdcessity.
as,
Yeah.
as a nurse.
At this
Listen
point-
to the original story. Jonathan Nolan wrote it.
Yes.
The original short story.
You can put the link here.
Yeah, but listen
There
to
you
it. I'll put the link,
There
YouTube
There you
link.
go.
That
YouTube
camera.
link.
YouTube link right here. Listen to the Jonathan Nolan story, And actually, maybe I shouldn't because you shouldn't do it. Buy the Jonathan Nolan story,
check it out. Get the
and
Jonathan
then
Nolan
watch Memento. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I will say on that wrap up that Memento is a fantastic necessity. Just and odds are a lot of people have not seen that now. Like, how many years has been that number one that we've been doing this for fun, and that it's I saw that Blockbuster, I think.
Yeah,
I think I rented that from Blockbuster.
Yeah, 1998.
That's a long.
Yeah,
I saw that
Show us your age.
and I know, and I had no clue about that film.
Yeah.
Like Nolan wasn't a thing for me yet.
Right.
Actually, and he wasn't much of a thing.
Nolan
for me
wasn't a thing
after
for anyone.
either.
I think,
he wasn't much of a thing. I
don't
just
think-
remembered the film and respected the film.
Yeah.
Guy
I can
Pearce
tell
is the reason I watched it.
Yeah. I
can
I'm a
tell
big
you-
Guy Pearce fan, and at that time I was a Guy Pearce fan, and I watched that film and I was like, "This is
I
insane."
think I'm in the same
Actually,
boat.
and Pans from Matrix and him. Once I saw those two actors, I was like,
Cypher.
Cypher. I was like, this would be interesting, and wow, was it interesting? And I was like, oh. Wow.
See, in any other day, that would be the list. That would be on the list.
Yeah. No, it's hard. Like, and I said,
Yeah.
like the fact that Dunkirk isn't for me, like, and I said, like, that was so impacted by that film. Like, I remember, but I've only seen that one probably like 4 times
And
total. Well, all the other
on
ones
top
it's in
of the
double digits.
Batman Begins is the one I've seen the most. The one I've seen the most in theaters was actually Dark Knight Rises with you.
Yeah, we saw that way too many times.
We saw it like 4 times.
I think Man of Steel's only the which is a Nolan connection anyway. He produced and
So,
but yeah, Man of Steel's the only other film I think I've seen as many times in my adulthood. Jurassic Park, I'll never beat that because I was in the dollar theater when I was a kid during the summer. I saw it 2-3 times a day for like 2 months.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's
that's
crazy.
why I saw
I can
Operation
never beat
Condor
that.
a million times.
Yeah,
And
we don't
then
have dollar
numbers.
theaters no more. Man, they need to bring back a dollar theater. Like
theaters.
seriously, we need dollar
All right,
theaters.
so let's wrap this up.
All right, that's it. Wrapping it up.
Thank you.
Make sure to check out our previous episodes. We
Like,
got all
comment,
kinds of stuff coming up,
share.
more episodes, good stuff. But we got to wrap up because there's another studio, another people going to use this studio. So yeah, shout out to the AV Club,
AV Club, not the
Khaled,
VA.
not the VA. That'll be in our
Club.
stories
AV.
later.
Yeah.
But shout out to them. This is a great studio, great atmosphere. We'll be doing more from here, here and there, and of course, our old versions of just from home and doing more video and just everything.
More
So,
there than here, but yes.
you know it.
Yeah, more there than here probably.
Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for
Thank
clicking.
you.
All right.
Omega saying peace.
MSK, peace out.
Yo, peace. Pitas. Pita.